Hey, yo, people. Welcome back to another episode of Football Heritage. Me, Josh, Denzel, Dan, and Sarab. Yeah, you man know what to do as the usuals. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends, man. Let's help the channel grow, man. We got to the 50 subs, so thank you guys. And let's get to 100, 150, 1 million. You know them ones, more 1 milli. But yeah, man, let's get straight into the action. There ain't really much to talk about this week. It's been a bit of a mediocre week, but obviously there was a final one, trophy Mourinho. We'll get on to him in a minute, but yeah, Man City got their customary whatever the Papa John's Cup, whatever it's called. They got their customary trophy in it, so big up them in it. Uh, it was such a dead final in here, really. The City dominated, but what's our general thoughts on the final and like how it went and stuff like that? Sarah.
Um, the final, Spurs were very passive. They didn't do anything. Let's be honest. They created like one chance in the game. City were very unlucky, I thought. Just poor finishing from them. I mean, we'll probably get onto the manager thing later on, but yeah, like Spurs basically did what we expected them to do: sit back, City dominated the ball, created loads of chances, hit the post. Lloris and Alderweireld made a few crucial blocks. There are things to be said that Laporte should have been sent off. I agree, and maybe Reguilon as well. Yeah, there's not too much to say. Like City just dominated, and the scoreline flat Spurs.
100%, man. What about you, Dan? What was your thoughts on that final?
I'll be honest, I was very disappointed in Spurs. Very disappointed. Because if we look at it from a Spurs perspective, this was the only game where they can make the most out of a bad season. Like they had all their eggs in this basket. Like they're out of the Europa League. It's not looking like they're getting top four. So they're at the FA Cup as well. So there's nothing for them to play for apart from this. And the performance was horrible, like genuinely horrible. I can't remember off the top of my head one Spurs chance. Like the only chance I can think of was when they had the counter attack and Højbjerg played a poor pass to Reguilon and tried to shift the blame.
Too far in front.
Yeah, and then tried to shift the blame to Reguilon, which I didn't understand. But I don't think we should put too much liability on Ryan Mason because everyone knows that he's out of his depth and he's not. He shouldn't be managing Spurs. But I mean, Spurs is a team like. This is a team that let's be real, they should have won something. In the past like 6 years, they should have at least won something. And I think yesterday kind of sums up why they haven't won anything. Because when it comes down to it, players like Son, players like, I want to say Eric Dyer, even though he had a good game yesterday, but players like Dyer, Kane, these sort of players that are fantastic for the whole season when there's no pressure. When the pressure's on, they melt and they do nothing. Like Riyad Mahrez, let's compare him to Son in that game. Riyad Mahrez was ripping Reguilon. He was ripping him. And Son was, half the time I didn't even know he was on the pitch.
He was non-existent.
He done nothing. And this is the same guy that is like, Son's 29 now. He should have won something. He should be being compared to the top. Like Spurs fans were saying that he's on a similar level to Mane. Like Sadio Mane, I think that's the big difference because Son is. I think I was really let down by Spurs. I'll just leave it at that. I was really let down.
Des, I know you said you didn't watch the game, but from any of the highlights you caught up with or saw, what was your general consensus on how the game went?
Spurs is just whack. Like, I don't really have. It's just Tottenham. It's Tottenham like. This was your first chance in a while to win a trophy, and you bottled it. You didn't even turn. They didn't even turn up. From what I saw from the highlights, it was a terrible, terrible performance. Basically, played the same way they did under Mourinho, just defending, and it just makes me question. I know we're gonna get onto it later on, but why sack him before a cup final? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like Ryan Mason, no disrespect, but. Ryan Mason, come on now. Like he's 29 years old, isn't he, or something like that?
Yeah.
Same age as Son.
Exactly. This guy's managing half the team. Half the team's older than him, and he's managing.
Older than him. Lloris is older than him.
It's ridiculous. It's such a lazy appointment. It's a joke. Tottenham
To be fair,
Hotspur,
it's
they
only
actually,
interim. It's only interim minutes.
yeah, I
So
know it's interim, but like there are better interim managers
But
available.
going back to the game, even if they just press like 20 meters higher up the pitch, just give more pressure. Like, stop being so passive.
Man,
You know what,
Tottenham, they're just a joke. They're a
and even
joke.
their counter attack was so lazy. Like
that's what.
their counter
Yeah,
attack would only be Kane, and then Son.
I
I
thought
didn't see
Lucas
any
Moura was
movement
probably
from
their
Son.
most steadily player, and
He was. He
Yeah.
was.
and that's saying everything.
when I looked at the game, yeah, the biggest issue that I had with Spurs was their midfield, and if you saw it, they just couldn't keep the ball. They
Harry
couldn't.
Winks.
Yeah, they couldn't keep the ball. There was no progressive passes. The only progressive pass I saw was one from Lo Celso, and that was in the whole game. One progressive pass, and that was for the counter attack where Kane kind of underhit the pass in it. So you got to look at that team selection and think you should have played Ndombele. The fact that he didn't come on, that's a bit iffy in it. That the fact that Ndombele didn't even come on,
He
but
brought on
yeah,
Sissoko when he's chasing the game.
yeah.
Like,
I don't know if it was 0-0 when you brought on Sissoko though. I think it was 0-0.
but even so, you still need a goal,
Yeah,
and you're bringing
I
on
wouldn't bring on
Sissoko
I wouldn't bring on Sissoko, but yeah, their
and
midfield was so
Bergwijn.
poor. Yeah, their midfield was so poor. They couldn't retain the possessions. They just kept giving it back to City, and City just kept recycling it, and eventually the pressure told in it. And let's be real, City should have won by more, but
Mhm.
their finishing boots weren't there. But obviously the next topic now is about Jose, isn't it? Sorry about that. No, about Jose and them sacking him. See, I see it from both sides. You know, I see it from you gotta keep Jose because this is a final and this is his forte and this is what you brought him in for. You brought him in to win you trophies. So why sack him a week before the chance for him to do what you specifically brought him in for? It makes no sense. But then I also look at it from the other perspective and in terms of that the players aren't playing for him. That extra 10-15% that you get when you're under the manager where you're enjoying your football can propel you to win that. And a big thing we also have to deep is that you're playing Man City. You're not playing. It's not disrespectful, but you're not playing a United, Chelsea, or Arsenal where you're around their level where you can sort of get away with it. You're playing against a team who are superior to you, so you're going to need the extra 10-15% that the players aren't giving to Mourinho. Yeah, at some points this season it started to look like it was just Harry Kane that was saving them, if you get what I mean. And you can't do that against Man City. So honestly, I see why they sacked him. My thing is that you should have sacked him earlier. If that's the case, you shouldn't have sacked him a week before. But yeah, Dan, what's your thoughts on the sacking of Mourinho?
I don't. I can't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, if you, for me, firstly, I don't agree with him being sacked at this time. If you want to sack him, that's by all means. There's definitely reasons to sack him, but at this time, it makes no sense to me. And even if you did think it was justified, why would you sack him with no plan B, with no plan on how you're going to approach the final? Like, because I don't want to be harsh on Ryan Mason, but he's not going to do anything as a manager. Like at this current moment, he's. I don't want to be rude to him because he's. It's not his fault, but he like you can see even from the way Spurs plays the naivety. Like he started Winks, he didn't play and Ndombele. Like Ndombele is clear of Winks as a player. Like I don't. And the second of Mourinho, like if there's only one person that's ever beat Pep Guardiola in a final, and that's Jose Mourinho. Like no one else has beat Pep in a final, and you're sacking him. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like if there's one man that can shit house a win, a 1-0 win, a scrappy 1-0 win, and bring home the trophy, it's Jose. Like Spurs fans are calling him Trophy Mourinho. He was the man that's going to bring home the trophy, and you don't give him the chance. Like. And if you're going to sack him 6 days before the final, that's to me that's ludicrous. Like at least wait to the end of the season, because I'll be honest, sacking him now and sacking him at the end of the season, there's no difference. Like you're not going to lose anything as a Spurs fan or as a Spurs player. Like you weren't going to get top four anyway. You weren't going to win the Europa League. You weren't going to win the FA Cup. So what's the point? Like the only thing you're doing is throwing away Mourinho's experience and his what he does have, like his managerial prowess, for someone that's Ryan Mason. Like I don't think he, as you said before, Sarah, I don't even think he was the Spurs coach. I think he was a youth coach.
No.
Like,
Hmm.
I think it doesn't make sense on so many levels to me. It's just so frustrating. And I'm not even a Spurs fan, but from a Spurs fan perspective, I'd be furious.
I think I'll be more furious about the timing rather than sacking
Yeah, that's
him.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because like you brought him in to win a trophy. He's got you to the final by hook or by crook. He's got you to the final, and you're giving it to Ryan Mason.
But if I'm being honest, the way it was going, I wouldn't want Jose in the final because the players aren't playing for him.
Oh, you wouldn't want Jose in the final over Ryan Mason?
The players aren't playing for him. Like it makes no difference. The
And
players
they
aren't playing for him.
And they played for Ryan Mason.
No, that's the thing. They don't have a good manager either way. They were going to lose anyway with Mourinho or not.
But I mean, we never know.
If it was like December time, because I know, no, not December because they were top. If it was like just before they lost to the.
Yeah, but didn't they beat City already this season?
Yeah, they beat him in
That was at the start of the season, isn't it? But remember, they played them recently and they got 3-0.
Yeah, I know.
They got 3-0.
He's shown that he can beat City, though.
If the players are committed to Jose, there's no one else you want in a final but Jose. But they're not committed, so there's no point. That's the key thing in my opinion. If the players aren't committed, then there's no point in my opinion.
Look at Arsenal in the FA Cup last year. Like we beat City and Chelsea when we were by far worse teams than both of them. Like I don't think it really matters. Like I think a lot of it is like know-how and experience, and Jose has both of them. For Ryan Mason is
I think you're not deep in the fact that if the players don't want to listen to him, there's only so much they can do. The players, they don't want to play for him. They were saying the only player that liked him was Harry Kane. That's shocking.
But I think you're underestimating the motivation for a final. Because remember, these Spurs players haven't won anything. So for a final, they're thinking, do you know what? Well, this is me. This is what I took from my perspective on it. If I was one of them, I'd be like, do you know what? Let me set aside my grievances towards Mourinho. We've got a more important task at hand with this game specifically. And let's trust him. Because, I mean, they couldn't have performed worse than they did. Let's put it frankly.
Denz, what's your thoughts on the whole second?
I think it was a terrible decision. Terrible. I think the only reason why they did it, I feel they came out and said it had nothing to do with the Super League. I feel like the timing of it was to do with the Super League slightly. But I don't think the sacking itself was to do with the Super League. I feel like he lost the changing room. It just didn't make sense to me. I feel like the reason why they hadn't sacked him before was because of the whole compensation thing. It was a big payout for Mourinho, obviously. I feel like them getting the Super League money or anticipating the Super League money coming in made them sack Mourinho. And obviously it didn't go to plan. That's my theory. I don't think it could be wrong, but that's my theory. I think the timing of it was terrible. You have a cup final with one of the best managers when it comes to cup finals, and you decide to sack him, and then you decide to replace him with a 29-year-old guy who has no experience in anything to do with coaching whatsoever. It's silly. It's silly. And I just want to say that I feel like this is the beginning of the decline of Tottenham Hotspurs.
Ooh.
Well, there was no rise to begin with, so you can't really decline anyway.
Yeah.
Like, they've been whacked for time, but we're gonna see them decline to the no disrespect to like Everton. No disrespect to Everton. For a couple of years now, we've had Tottenham Hotspur sniffing in this top four conversation, this Big Six conversation. They're not a Big Six team. They're not a top four team. They're trash. The way the club is run. This sacking says it all about the way the club is run. It's abysmal. Mourinho was the only thing keeping people interested in Tottenham Hotspurs. Now that he's gone, Harry Kane might leave. If Son, in fact, Son, no one gives a crap about Son anyway. I don't care about Son. But if Harry Kane,
overrated player, man.
Exactly. If Harry Kane leaves, now that Jose is left, if Harry Kane leaves, no one's gonna give a toss about Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. They're gonna go back to how they was in 2008. No one giving a toss about them, and they're gonna decline. That's my views on them. They have to get this next appointment right. If they don't, then no one's gonna give a toss about Tottenham, man.
What about you, Sarah? What's your thoughts on the Jose sacking?
Yeah, I feel like it was getting very toxic. Like a lot of Spurs fans were just getting sick of it. They couldn't bear the front of just. There was no, like, you can say the style of play was like effective at times at the beginning of the season, but it just came to a point where like they were becoming. Jose was becoming so like reactive. So like they were reacting to other teams scoring against them or them going 1-0 up and then sitting back. But as a top six side or a big six side, you're meant to be the guys on the front foot. You're meant to be the guys putting the initiative on and trying to score and create chances. None of that was happening. They lost the final, and yeah, I think what Denzel said about the timing. Levy tried to sneak it in there because the Super League was going on, maybe to try and keep it under the flowers or whatever. Ryan Mason coming in, like I think we talked about this before. Like he hasn't even coached at under 18 or under 23 level. He's literally just got his coaching badges. He's a youth development league manager thing or whatever. He has not done anything to do with football, so he's fresh off the boat. Yeah, I mean, they've been linked with Erik ten Hag. Nagelsmann's gone to Bayern Munich now, which was inevitable. So I don't know who they're going to get. Rodgers isn't going to leave Leicester as well, so I don't know how that's going to go. And a lot of people would argue as well, like if they should probably will focus on getting Kane sorted before they go for a manager, because Kane in a Tottenham shirt is everything to the club and the fans. If you can't sort his future out, then no big manager will want to come in with the talisman gone or the main players gone. I think Spurs have got a huge summer ahead, and also as well, like I hate all this inconsistency with Levy. Like honestly, like you backed Jose with 200 million with all these players that came in, and in my opinion, they had one of the best transfer windows last year. Yeah, then a few seasons before that, he spent nothing for 2 windows. He spent nothing on to back Poch. Poch was a much more progressive manager than he was. So you're going out and buying a progressive manager. Then you're going back to a manager who's known for winning trophies and good in one-off matches. Yeah. And now what are you going to do? You're going to go back to Tim Sherwood, Andrea Villas-Boas? Because he's not on a job at Marseille. Get it right, mate. Like, honestly, like stop hilly-billying between different styles of managers. Get it right. I'm seeing Scott Parker link. Scott Parker's going to need time. He's going to need time. And if you're on this 5-year projection, you won't be a top big six side for the next 5, 10 years. You've won nothing. The only reason you're in this is because you have financial power and you wanted to get rid of all, cover it all up by going into the Super League. Ridiculous. And they've got £1 billion toilet seat stadium.
Wow.
Tell him again, Sarah. I'm loving this.
And he's going to use the Super League money to pay for that if it had gone through.
Mm.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Yeah. Spurs, who cares, man? It is what it is. Yeah. I don't really care. But we were talking about Son, innit? And I wanna, because I wanted to speak about this last week about do we gas up players too early? Because I know, Dan, you've been preaching this since the start of the season. You said Son is the biggest purple patch player you ever see, innit? Like he'll go on a patch of 10 games where he scored like 12 goals. People will be saying, "Oh, he's world class." I can't lie. Since January, what's he done? What's he done really and truly? And I do feel like we do. I think it's natural that we get excited over players, isn't it? Something new, it always excites us, but sometimes we're a bit too premature with how we rank them. And I think Son's been that sort of player. Is that how people are trying to disrespect Sterling now? And Mane. Sterling is better than Son, in my opinion. Definitely. But the way people are trying to say, Sterling was never really that good. But when you look at it, Sterling was actually very consistent for like 3 seasons for Man City, which is more than Son. Son is consistent for 10, 15 games a season. And apparently this guy deserves to go to Real Madrid and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I don't really see it like that. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that, Denzel?
I think you brought this up when I mentioned the Luke Shaw thing. With Son, like Dan said, he is a purple patch player. But I think we're all sometimes they use this on Filthy Fellas as well. It's the prisoners of the moment. We do tend to do that as football fans. I can't lie. I do it a lot. But if the players been consistent throughout the whole season, then we have a right to gas them up. If it's just like a small purple patch, okay, cool, maybe.
So yeah, Dan, what's your thoughts on how players are ranked? Are they ranked a bit too prematurely, or do you think it's justified?
Nah, I'm with you 100%. I think harsh with Sonia is because Son has done the same thing since he's been at Spurs every single season. And like, I don't want to disrespect Spurs more than we've already done, but I think part of the reason why he's gassed up so much is because he plays for Spurs. Like, if he played for Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, or Chelsea, people would pick up on them flaws a lot quicker, a hell of a lot quicker, and people would point them out. But because Spurs are ultimately seen as the underdog of the big six, and a lot of the neutrals like to root for Spurs. Well, at one point they like to root for Spurs because they were the underdogs and Pochettino was a likable manager. Their players get away with a lot more. So Son does this every year. He does the same thing. The start of the season, the first couple of weeks, he won't be too active. Then around Christmas, he'll pick up and bang about 7 or 8 goals in over the space of 10 weeks. And people will start saying, is he world class? Is he better than Sterling? And then they'll start making these wild comparisons and say, oh, he's not too far from this guy. He's not too far from this guy. And then when it comes to the business end of the season, when you start seeing where teams are going to finish come February, March, he won't score for 2 months. He'll be inactive, do nothing. And then when the places are settled, when Spurs are comfortably out of the title race, that's when he'll pick up again and score 3 or 4 goals in the last couple of games of the season. And people will say he's world class, he's this, he's that. Like, we definitely overrate players too much. And I think a lot of it is, I hate to say it, but a lot of it is based on what team they play for. Because like, if they don't play for Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, or Chelsea, or even Man City, people will just gas them up. Like, because the level of scrutiny is much lower for for the other teams. Like, the players can get away with a lot more. And like, even for them teams, there's some players like, I've been saying his name for a while, and Chelsea fans are not going to like this, but Pulisic falls into that category as well. Like, this season, he's been very, very poor. And after that purple patch, after lockdown, I was hearing shouts of the next Hazard. Like, come on. People if that's not gassing up a player before they've actually proved that they're their level, then I don't know what it is. Like, there's so many players like that get gassed up before they've ever truly cemented their place as to where they are. And
100.
I think like a lot of Premier League fans and fans in general just need to relax with rating players. Like, not everything's a competition. Not everything. You don't need to compare everyone straight away. Like, you don't need to gas them up. Like, if the player's as good as you say they are, they'll prove that they're as good as they say they are. If you know what I mean. Like, for example, a good example is like Bruno. Like, people were waiting for Bruno to drop stinkers when he first came to United. People were waiting. People were saying, penalty merchant, and playing all these. But I mean, it's a year later and he's still doing his thing. And I mean, there's not really much you can say. Like, he's proved that he's a very good player. Like, so I think with Premier League fans and football fans in general, we just need to wait before we rate these players. And that's the only thing that I was going to say about, because I know we were discussing Luke Shaw earlier. And that's my thing with Luke Shaw, that like right now he's playing at a very, very high level, like a very good level. But I would just say, just wait on it. Like, we'll see if he maintains this level next season and the season after. And then we can say, okay, this guy's world class, this guy's top 3, blah, blah, blah. But as of right now, I'll say we need to just wait with players and then let them prove that they really are what we think they're.
100. Sarah, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have nailed it, to be honest. Like, I think maybe like looking at it a bit closer, like I feel like wingers and like that sort of position where that's the position where like quick to judge out of most positions. I think like the Sterling dropping off the Rashford thing, when that happens, and Son's a good example. I think I will give Son credit because this year his conversion rate has been ridiculous. It's like the best. I think it's top 3 in the Prem or something ridiculous like that. But like if we look at the positions, like wingers, they just. And in the system he plays in as well, like everything goes through him and Kane. So that's probably why he's been so lethal this year. I think in the Premier League where we're too quick to judge players, I don't know, like it's just we just look at the numbers and think, like we had this numbers debate before, like it's not all about the numbers and like how well are they actually performing well in the team. Like, for example, as a winger, how good is your ball carrying ability? Mane's is probably much better than Son's, I think, personally. Like, it's just dependent on what you look for in a winger. Like, Rashford's dribbling ability is a lot better. So yeah, it's just about evaluating the player and what do they bring to that team in particular. Maybe, for example, if Tottenham were playing on a different manager, we might see Son doing a lot more. But from what we've seen in the first 4 or 5 years of his Premier League career, I don't think so, because even under Poch, he was still like this as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, Son, one of the most overhyped players in the league this year. And he's just a very good winger. That's it. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that, man. There's no shame in that. There's no shame.
No, there's no
everybody's-
nothing wrong with
Overrated
that.
doesn't mean bad, by the way, because I think
No.
people see it as like it means they're bad. Like he's definitely not a bad player, but he's not world class. So
Yeah,
he's good,
Yeah.
like very good.
yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Hey, there's not that much to talk about, but you know what? Let's actually broaden our horizons. Well, Denzel, you want to say something?
What we're gonna talk about a possible Arsenal takeover. We can
That's
skim
a good
over
one.
that.
Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
But then again,
Hmm?
Ori's not here, so should we?
We
But
can-
it's recent news, so we should.
I
Let's
haven't
talk
really
about it a
read too
little
much
bit.
into it, to be honest.
Yeah, we've talked about it, so yeah.
But you Denzel and Dan can talk about because I know you man have looked at it. But so Dan, what's your
okay.
thoughts on it? The takeover.
For me,
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the Arsenal takeover?
do you know what? Like I think I'm very. I don't really feel a massive way either way. Obviously, I'd prefer it to go through, but if it doesn't, then I think it will trigger a reaction from the Cronkies, because if they decline on a bid for a takeover and then continue not to spend, I think there'll be a lot more uproar. Like, and I think you see, like with legends coming out already, like Thierry Henry said that it's not the Arsenal that he wants new. Ian Wright said Kroenke out. Like, I think the obviously Bergkamp and Vieira are in kind of in unison with the new takeover bid. So I feel if Kroenke declines it, we'll see a reaction. But me personally, I'd love it to go through. Like, I'd love it to go through because number one, he's an Arsenal fan. Like, there's been reports coming out that he watches every Arsenal games. Like, I know people are going back on Twitter and seeing him live tweeting the games and celebrating goals and stuff. So he clearly cares about the club, and he clearly wants the club to do well. And especially with the likes of Henry, Bergkamp, and Vieira, like them guys are not going to be accepting mediocrity. Like, I'll be honest, if them guys were in charge, I'll tell you I wouldn't be the manager right now. Them guys wouldn't be accepting mediocrity. So I think we'd get to the top a lot faster if we were to go back to the top. So I'm definitely for it. The only criticism that I've seen is that Arsenal fans are concerned that his net worth is 4.2 billion, whereas Kroenke's is 8 billion. So they're saying, why are we getting an owner that's less rich? Like, it doesn't make sense. But my kind of rebuttal to that is, number one, I think it would be a consortium. So it wouldn't just be purely him putting the money forward. I think he'd mainly be the face of it, and the Invincibles would be board members who'd be the main people involved. And number two, Kroenke's never put a penny into Arsenal. So it's fine him having this 8 billion, but if you're putting nothing into Arsenal, I may as well be the owner because you're doing fuck all. Like, I've put more money into Arsenal than Kroenke has. So it makes no difference what his net worth is. Arsenal's not benefiting. Whereas even if we had someone whose net worth was, as Daniel X net worth is 4.2 billion, even if he invests 100 million every year, Arsenal would be in a significantly better place than what we are now. So I'm excited for this takeover anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what about you, Denzel? What's your thoughts on it?
I think if it goes through, it will be good for football. As a United fan, I'm kind of jealous that there's talk about people buying Arsenal Football Club. I'd like someone to come in and buy Man United, the Saudis, come and save our club, please, because we're dying out here with the Glazers. But back to Arsenal, I think you have to sell. Like, the Cronkies have to sell. They rejected the Usmanov bid a couple years back, but they're making a loss. They're not making money from Arsenal. They're not investing into Arsenal. With this whole Super League thing crumbling, like I said, I think I said it last week, I feel like owners will be more inclined to sell because they know they're not going to make as much money as they would have if the Super League went through. Because I feel like, because it's been in the works for a long time, a lot of these American owners were betting on the Super League to bring them in a lot of cash. But now that the Super League's not going to happen, I feel like they're more inclined to sell. Obviously, like Dan said, it's probably going to be a consortium, so the net worth of Daniel Ek shouldn't be an issue. He's showing that, well, he's showing glimpses that he'll care, if you get what I mean. He's a fan of the club. He's consulted Henry, Vieira, Bergkamp. So he's consulted people that know about Arsenal Football Club, and he's consulted people that care about Arsenal Football Club, unlike the Cronkies, who do not give a toss about Arsenal Football Club. They just see it as a business venture rather than a club, a football club. Even if Daniel Ek and this whole consortium thing don't buy Arsenal, I think it could start a bidding war for Arsenal. It could bring in other people trying to purchase the club. The Cronkies have said that they're not going to sell the club, but obviously it's best for business to sell that, to say that you're not going to sell the club, rather than saying, my club's up for sale, because we saw what happened with Mike Ashley and all that, still not going through. So yeah, it will be a good thing for Arsenal. I'm on Apple Music anyway, so I'm not investing any money into them getting taken over. I suggest if you're a non-Arsenal fan, switch over to Apple Music. If you're an Arsenal fan, get Spotify Premium. But like, it's good for football. You want to see the best clubs, the clubs with the history, doing the best. You don't want to see Arsenal in a trash position like they are now. Despite all the jokes and the banter and all that, it was better back in the day where Man United and Arsenal meant something, rather than now we have jokes of owners. So I want to see it go through. Yeah.
Nah, I 100% agree with that, man. We need all the big boys strong in it. But yeah, man, I was thinking, let's broaden our horizons for this weekend and let's look at the other leagues, see what's going on. Hey, let's look at the French league. I just want to get you guys' thoughts, like, who do you think are the favourites to win it and stuff? So let's look at the French league. That is looking tight, bruv. That is looking tight. 4 games to go. Hey, I think, is it Leo Monaco next game or something?
Leon Monaco.
Leon Monaco.
Yeah.
That's looking tight as well, man. That's looking tight as well.
Leo done so well, man.
Wait. Can I just quick, the rise of Monaco, man, the decline and then the rise again. Because when they battling relegation.
Yeah.
And now
they brought back Jardim twice and they were yo-yoing about.
They got a lot of good players, man.
I think it's Ocampos. I think Luis Ocampos, like, he was with Monaco when they rose, when they had like that crazy team. And then he left and joined Lille. And then now Lille are doing their thing. But they'll have
a lot. Lille and Lyon, they've got a good squad. They've got good young squads. Their sale to buy model has done them well the last couple of years.
Definitely. I hope Lyon win. Do I think they will win?
They're running
lost 3 games all season. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
they're running. They've only lost 3.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Looking at the remaining fixtures that they have, they should win the remainder. Yeah, they should be winning these games. But
the game against Lyon was crazy. They were 2-0 down, and the goals that they scored to get back was quality.
I can see PSG slipping up, against one of those teams.
That would be a huge L for Pochettino. Huge L.
Monaco have quite a hard run in. Lens are doing quite well. Rennes, always a tough one.
Yeah, man. Maybe Leo can do their thing this season. Maybe Leo, man. Hopefully.
They might lose some of their players. I know Lyon are going to lose a lot of players this year again because Depay's off. Alwa's probably going to be linked again with loads of teams. Bamba, I think, as well. He'll be linked with a few teams.
Lille, yeah.
Lille, Jonathan David, Renato Sanchez, etc.
I think they're in trouble though because in France only the top 3 get Champions League. So either Monaco or Lyon is going to miss out. And if Lyon miss out, I think a lot of their players will be gone.
Yeah.
Let's move over to Spain. Spain's looking tight as well, man. Sevilla only 3 points.
This is the one. Because if Barcelona win all their remaining games, they will win the league.
But they have to play Atletico, which is
they have to play Atletico.
Yeah. Hey, Atletico, man.
The pressure's on Atletico at the moment because they lost.
I think I know who's winning this one. Before I said Atleti, that was time ago.
It's on the 8th of May.
Real Madrid are winning this.
Hey, Real Madrid dropped points, man.
I'm telling you, Real Madrid are winning this.
Real Madrid dropped points, man. You can't count on them, man.
Yeah, you can't be dropping points. And they have the Champions League to focus on as well.
Yeah,
Real Madrid.
I feel like they're going gung-ho for the Champions
Real
League because
Madrid
they've
will
got a lot
somehow-
of injuries as well.
I'm telling you, Real Madrid will somehow come out of this and win it.
They have to play Sevilla.
I'm back in Barcelona.
I'm back
I'm
in
back
Real.
in Barcelona because they
want-
won the Copa del Rey. They've got that energy. They've got no more cup competitions in. They've got players coming back.
I want
yeah.
Atletico to win, but
Same. Atleti, man.
Yeah,
They've got Suarez coming back. Let's go.
yeah. Suarez coming back is big.
They got Suarez coming back. They
He
can
played
do
last
it.
game.
João Felix. What happened to him? He started off so well this season and then he just fell off a cliff.
Yeah,
I don't think he
Suarez came on.
starts.
Yeah, he's
Llorente's had a
Marcus-
very good season.
Llorente. He's played right back, centre back, centre everywhere. This guy
He's
is
had a very
crazy,
good
man.
season.
Yeah,
He's very versatile, man.
Mm.
Yeah, I hope Atletico win it, man. But I think the momentum's with Barca. They're
Yeah.
because
They're
beat Villarreal
chasing.
2-1.
They're chasing.
Yeah, they beat Villarreal
Mm.
2-1 as well. Came back from behind. Looks like Griezmann's getting a bit of form now as well. So he's gonna add another layer of
that
goals.
3-5-2 formation is keeping them a bit more safe at the back.
Yeah, because they're very.
Because we always know
defensive.
when
Yeah.
PK plays on his own, it's just there's no defensive stability there.
Mm.
Italy too, man.
Finally, Italy.
Yeah.
Have you seen their top four?
Yeah, man. Darius is insane. You know what? I feel like if obviously there's been reports that if Juve don't get top four, that Ronaldo's gone. I thought, yeah, that's gonna happen because there's no way CR7 is sitting out a season in his competition. There's no way that's happening. But where is he gonna go?
Yeah.
Where is he gonna go? That's my
That's
question.
the thing.
I don't know because I don't think Real Madrid are interested.
No, I don't think.
The only possible team is PSG, and even then, that's the
This
only
may sound like an
City
outside
team I
shout,
can
but I
see.
can see him
That's
going
the
back to
only
United.
shout I have.
You know,
I can see.
I don't.
I
That's
can see
not
him
a.
going back to United.
That's not a smart move for either parties.
I don't know, man. I think he's still.
That's the
capable
only
of some
team. I
magic.
can't see anyone else.
I love Ronaldo. Maybe if you would have said this to me like 4 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, I would bite your hand off to take Ronaldo back. But now, not really. We don't really need a Ronaldo in the squad because of you've seen what's happened to Juventus with a Ronaldo in the squad. It's all about him. And
They
it
have a lot of
affects the whole
underlying
team.
problems, though.
Their
Juventus have
squad
Yeah.
building has been
But I-
atrocious.
I'd rather
Yeah,
have
Ronaldo,
I'd
though.
rather get a Harry Kane. I'd rather get a Harry Kane than a CR7 at this moment in time. I can't lie.
Mm.
You know how crazy
You
that
guys have
sounds.
got
I
a
understand
much
what you mean,
younger
sir.
model at the moment.
Mm,
But you know how crazy that sounds. I'd rather have
for
Harry
real.
Kane.
It sounds
Harry
mad,
Kane,
but it's the
I hear
truth,
that,
man.
yeah.
It's the truth.
5 years
You
ago,
got-
everyone would be ripping you for that opinion, but
Yeah,
nowadays,
but right now it's different, man. It's different.
for real.
Obviously, Ronaldo homecoming would be nice and all that, but he's not the
Mm.
same player. He's declining. I don't want the declining Ronaldo starting at centre forward for Man United. I want-
Declining Ronaldo still gets you 30 goals a season, which is pretty insane.
In the Prem,
Yeah.
Probably,
in
yeah.
the you think declining? You think
Yeah,
Ronaldo now?
Bruno feeding everything to him will be.
Wait, so you
a match
think
made in heaven.
you think CR7 gets 30 goals in the Prem?
Not
If
in
he
the
comes
Prem,
back to
probably
Man
all
United.
comps. Probably all
Yeah, no
comps.
comps, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say.
I think, like, considering how well Cavani's done, Ronaldo is definitely getting 30 all comps.
It'll be interesting to see. I wouldn't be against him coming back, but I'd rather have that. I'd rather use that money on Harry Kane because I feel like it's going to be a big fee to get Ronaldo to come back to the theatre of dreams. So, don't know about that
Just
one.
quickly, who do we think is actually finishing top four in
Well,
Serie A?
In Serie A,
obviously, Inter's
it's
first.
I think Napoli will drop out. I think AC will get there. So, we'll
I
replace
don't
AC
buy
for.
into AC Milan, man. I don't buy into. I think it stays on it is.
I don't
Well,
think
can we see,
Napoli.
Josh? Can you put the thing up so we can
Wait, one
see?
sec.
For me, AC Milan, their squad is just. It doesn't. I was never impressed. Even when they were top,
and Ibrahimovic.
even when they were top, I was
Kessie
never
needs to leave,
impressed.
man.
Like,
Kessie's cold. He needs to go somewhere else.
Kessie's good. And
Yeah, I like
Benacerra's a quality player as well.
AC have a lot of good players, man. Teo Hernandez as well.
I don't buy into them. They for me, they don't. I don't know.
In some ways, it's just uncharted territory for them. It's been so long since they were even
Exactly,
remote,
100%.
European contenders. Like let's be honest, fourth or fifth is still an amazing season considering where they were before. They were horrendous before.
I think they came fifth last
I think they
season.
came
Like,
sixth.
so keep going back the seasons, see how far.
I think at one point they were like 10th.
Yeah,
They were
I mean, they
horrible.
came fifth. They came 1 point behind of Champions League 2 seasons ago.
and then there was
but I
some
remember there was one
weird
point they
shit
were
like
horrible.
buying Benucci and stuff like that. And they were
Yeah,
like,
that was-
they
oh,
won
Yeah, that
summer, they
was
spent like,
strange. That was strange.
They were out of the Champions League. They've been out of Champions League for a very long time.
And Napoli, they're starting to.
That running's not looking too shabby. No, that's definitely
it's a
doable.
good run in.
No, it looks like Napoli are in form right now. Actually, so
Yeah.
it could do something.
Where's Atalanta? Oh, second.
It's
I think
second.
no, they'll
But-
definitely get top 4. They'll definitely get top 4. I think.
You're that convinced?
Yeah.
Now there's not that much of a gap between fifth and second. So,
Second, 2
Yeah.
points.
exactly.
Yeah.
So any that could completely change.
Oh, them lot.
And then-
That
Oh, I
is a
thought-
tough run in. That is a tough run in.
That last
See
game
that,
is
see that, yeah, that's gonna be a decider right there.
that last game can be very interesting.
Sassuolo's
Look
not
at
an
the
easy game
final.
as well. Yeah.
I've been watching quite a lot of Sassuolo. They play good football, man. They actually play some
Yeah.
good football. man.
Lot of players that people should be looking at there.
For real, man.
Locatelli,
Yeah. Oh.
lovely baller.
Yeah.
I actually think Inter that they could. This is maybe I reckon next 3 years they could be right up there with the top 2 because Juventus they have work to do. Like they have a lot of players they need to sell. I like Inter at the moment.
It depends on Conte. It depends on Conte.
Yeah. If Conte just like blows up and like has a massive disagreement, here we go.
Hey, this is actually quite tough for them, you know. Juve have a tough end. Milan,
do.
Sassuolo, Inter.
Oh, they're not getting
Italian
up.
final.
They are not getting top. In fact,
Udinese is
good.
not easy.
They still could, man. They still
it's
could.
looking significantly more difficult for them than Napoli and Atalanta.
Yeah.
No, let's be honest. Whenever I watch Juve, they don't even look that convincing. Like, I haven't watched Juve that much.
They're kind of dead. I can't lie.
They're
They're
like
dead.
really like Chiesa's been pulling them out sometimes with his trickery.
He's impressed me.
But,
Weston McKennie's. I like Weston
yeah,
McKennie.
Weston McKennie's done very well.
I like him. I think he's. But their defense. I don't know about it.
Like it just felt like Pirlo was waiting for Chiellini to come back and just to play him again, bring back the
Which
old
is
boys.
mad. Which is still crazy to me how they're relying on Chiellini. Like,
They got a rebuild to do, man. They got a couple of players they need to get rid of.
they
Definitely.
got a
man.
lot of deadwood to shift.
That's why
Yeah.
Agnelli's so full for the Super League. He knows.
Well, I'm just looking at their team, man. It's not the most inspiring team, but yeah. Final thing about
They have loads of good players, but they just don't fit the team. Like they have a bunch of central midfielders, which like they're just not it. Like
yeah. Nah, 100, man, 100. Now, final thing before we move on to the Champions League. What's it? Leipzig. Nagelsmann's going to Bayern for 25 M's. Well, it could go up to 25 M's. I saw something currently is at 15 or something, but that's a lot of money, man. But I guess it just feeds into the continued narrative that Bayern just take all their rivals' best players. But I think people have to that's the thing about the 50+1 rule. Teams don't have that financial maneuver to really expand like an English side. Like they don't have the money like that, so they kind of do have to sell. And a lot of Germans look at Bayern as the pinnacle. So I mean, a lot of clubs are in a lose-lose position. So I'm not really surprised that Nagelsmann is going to leave. I just applaud Leipzig that they managed to get so much from him, you know. And obviously, RB have
it sort of softens the blow a little bit.
Yeah, they have a franchise sort of model where they're just going to get like Jesse Marsh or someone like that to replace him, innit? Who already kind of knows how the system works. So I don't really think it's a lose-lose position. And if you see their transfer strategy, RB, is very solid. Like, I don't think the loss of Upamecano is going to hurt them for that long. Maybe like a season, but they'll replace him easily, man. They're
losing Konate, so that's what I was just.
Yeah.
But they're losing both their centre backs.
I know they bought in some Croatian don. I forgot how you say his name.
Gvardiol, I think.
Huh?
Gvardiol, I think.
Yeah, he's apparently a crazy talent. They bought some French guy. I can't remember. But yeah, they know how to replace their
I'd say they're one of the best, man.
Yeah, so I'm not worried for them. I'm not worried for them. No, not at all. But I mean, it's just gonna strengthen Bayern, so that's how it is, man.
Exactly. And do you know what's interesting? Like, I think because you see, like Bayern, they've generally played the same way for the past 8 years, I'd say, since like Jupp Heynckes was there and all them, that Rummenigge and all that. But with Nagelsmann, they might change completely now. They genuinely could just change the way they play. Because they maybe know that Leipzig and like Dortmund have started winning again, so maybe they're thinking they want to future-proof themselves for the next couple of years. Maybe Nagelsmann's going to blood some more youth into that team because they're going to need to replace a few players soon.
Definitely, but again, Bayern, like with all German teams, they're so good at like replacing their players, and so again, I don't think there's much to worry about them. But the big game today, man. Hey, CEO talk, man. Hey, the ball Hazard's back, you know. Hazard's back. He's back.
He's not starting.
He's not going to do nothing. He's not going to do nothing.
It's a Champions League knockout round, bro. He's going to stink it up.
Hey.
Exactly.
Nah, I can't lie. I watched the Real Madrid Betis game. It came on for 10 minutes. He was looking decent, man. He was looking decent. Looking a bit more. Looking a bit more.
Valverde starting on the wing, 100%.
Man, Chelsea fans love defending this Hazard guy, man.
For real, Chelsea fans.
Finished, man. He's dusted, man.
I don't know.
He eats Big Macs every day. He can't keep himself fit. Like, he don't train properly.
Yeah, little fatty.
Now, what is there to defend about this guy, man?
I don't do fat shaming still because
I'm not fat shaming. I'm not.
On the
everyone's put a little bit of quarantine pounds on. I've put quarantine pounds on as well. But this guy's a professional footballer. He's a professional footballer and he's jumping on the Big Macs and he's not training properly. And Chelsea fans are still defending him every 10 seconds they get to defend him.
Chelsea fans compared him to Neymar and that.
Oh,
come on, man.
Hey, the game, I don't think it's gonna be like an end-to-end like mad enthralling game. I think it's gonna be a bit more of a chess match. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Maybe I was saying a 1-0 Madrid game because they're at home in it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 1-1, but I don't think neither side's going to get blown away. The midfield battle is going to be interesting, definitely. You were saying Valverde to start. I swear he's got...
maybe it might be.
I don't know if he's...
I know Mendy's out, apparently. Fell on Mendy. And Ramos is obviously still out. Toni Kroos is back because apparently he got injured, but he's back again. Kovacic is out.
I'm just checking. But yeah, Sarah, you carry on. What's your thoughts on the game?
It's interesting. I reckon it'll be low scoring as well. I don't see Hazard's not going to start. I just can't see it happening. Like Zidane's going to go for what he trusts. The midfield three will play. And for Chelsea's perspective, it's just like they need to be careful they don't get outnumbered in the midfield.
Sarah, what's his name? Valverde's got COVID, so he's not going to play.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually quite big because Zidane likes Valverde. He uses him in so many positions. Like particularly say like if they're winning 1 or 2-0, he'll bring him on just to like shore it up. And like if Kroos and Modric are getting tired. Yeah. Who do you think he'll start? Who do you think Tuchel will start up front? Because that's where I think it's going to matter. Because one of the I reckon Mount's going to start in one of the front three so he can drop into the midfield. Because he knows if Toni Kroos and Modric are just swinging balls into Benzema and Vinicius, it's going to be tough.
You might do a Havertz for false 9 and then Werner because Werner scored as well. So I could see him doing that. Actually, no, I don't think he'll drop Pulisic because Pulisic has been decent in the last couple of games. But I don't know. But I don't think he's going to go Werner up top. I think he'll play him in one of the 2 positions behind the striker. But I think he will want to use his pace. So I think Werner, there's a big chance Werner will start, if I'm being honest. But Dan, what's your thoughts on the game?
No, I totally agree with you. I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring match. I think Chelsea have maintained solid defence since Tuchel's come in, and I don't think that stops here. I don't know. I can see it going Chelsea's way because I just think that if you can defend well, then you can really you have a chance. And I mean, I know Timo Werner. Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I think personally he's useless. But I mean, he's been decent in recent games, and Ziyech has been doing his thing in recent games as well. Havertz has scored a couple goals recently, so I don't know. I see Chelsea improving going forward, and whilst they've improved going forward, they've still maintained the solid defense. So I mean, they beat Man City 1-0 in the FA Cup semi-final. I see something like that happening tonight at the Bernabeu. It's not at the Bernabeu, but at Real Madrid. But I don't know. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw, and then they'll go back to the bridge with that result.
Denzel, what's your thoughts?
Like you said, I think the midfield battle is gonna be interesting. Who do you think they're gonna put in the midfield? Chelsea.
It's going to be
Kante
Kante and
Jorginho.
Jorginho. It'll be
Kante
Kante and
has to be
Jorginho.
Kante,
And then
Jorginho.
Mount might have to drop in at times or something.
Okay, because it's gonna be an interesting one. Yeah, how they're gonna match up against Madrid's midfield, because Madrid have a very strong midfield. Like you guys said, yeah, just repeating what you guys said, I think it's gonna be low scoring. I don't think it's gonna be an interesting game. It's gonna be a ball fest. I don't know who's gonna win this one though. I don't know.
Are we just talking about first leg or the whole thing?
First leg.
Just based on the first leg, I think it'll either be a. I don't think Chelsea come away with a win. If Chelsea win, it'll be a smash and grab. I think it'll probably be like a 1-1 or a 1-0 to Madrid, and then Chelsea go back to the bridge and do a madness.
Madness, you know.
That's my prediction.
We'll
Madness.
We'll see, man.
Well, not a madness, but I think Chelsea will do the business.
We've not seen Chelsea do a madness yet in terms of like a massive amount of goals.
Yeah, they've had a very, very easy run-in. They've had a very, very easy run-in. But now their first real test in the Champions League has come about. We'll see how they handle it.
I'll say Atletico was a test, but we did.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, obviously Atletico, yeah.
So,
but the Porto one was a drive. That was a cruise by.
Yeah. The game that's really going to be interesting, the PSG versus Man City. Ori's not here. Obviously, this guy reps Mbappe and Neymar, but I don't know. Is Mbappe fit or is he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, is he?
Oh, I think he is.
I'm not sure. I know he was injured at the weekend.
I heard that he was.
I heard that. Check that.
I heard that he was fit.
Because that's going to be a big loss. Because I could see what's it called? PSG looking to hit
Yeah, he's fit. He's fit.
He's fit.
He's been past his fit.
Hey.
Mbappe, Neymar, Verratti, and Di Maria are all fit.
Is Marquinhos back? That's a key one. Is Marquinhos also back as well?
Let me have a look at Marquinhos.
Because if PSG are full strength,
they're still losing.
I'm not sure about that one.
They're still losing.
I think it's good. This is tight.
Marquinhos is fit.
Marquinhos is fit.
So.
Let's go. Ooh. That's gonna be interesting, man. That's gonna be interesting.
Man City dub easy.
Not even, man.
I'm saying it. Man City dub. We heard it here first.
Not even.
The first leg at Parc des Princes.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I think Man City won that first one 3-2 or something like that. I think this will have more goals than obviously the fixture tonight.
You think Man City will score like that? Man City don't really blitz side, you know. They don't really score. I can't remember that many times.
Man City don't blitz sides.
Not anymore.
Not this
Manchester
season, anyway.
City.
Not this season.
Don't blitz sides.
Not this season.
But your City still play attacking football though. It'll be high scoring, I think.
But they don't blitz side like before, though. They don't.
Not like before, but they still beat sides comfortably. Like
if they win 1-0, you're like the other team didn't really lay a glove on them.
Yeah.
That's what you're like, to be honest.
But against PSG, I don't think it'll be like that.
If PSG sit off them completely, then and just lose Mbappe and Neymar.
Do you think they do what they did against Bayern, where they counterattack and use the pace?
Man City,
even when that happened,
Man City are good defensively.
So many chances.
Exactly, I feel like,
and Man City have a much better defense. So
Man City are culpable to counterattacks. Like you saw Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final. Chelsea could have scored 2 or 3.
Yeah,
but I feel like Man City's their shape is it's a lot better.
It goes into a back three, doesn't it?
The way they set out, I think it suits. But then again, you brought up the Chelsea. That's true. That's a very good
But-
point.
Yeah.
The
true.
Chelsea have made them look very vulnerable, and
Mhm.
obviously PSG have the likes of Mbappe and Neymar. But I just see it's over 2 legs, so I think Man City will be able to pattern it.
Ooh. I don't know. I see PSG going through. I don't think
Really?
City,
I can't call it.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it's
Yeah, I
tough.
can't
I'm
call it.
going with City.
I think City just have that. I think I don't know. I don't want to say it, but I think City just have that Arsenal gene where in Europe they just seem to find a way to chuck it away.
Mm.
Yeah, like who plays at fullback will be important because if it's Zinchenko or is it João Cancelo goes into midfield.
It'll be Cancelo.
Yeah,
Oh.
and then Walker will play at right back, Cancelo in left back, coming to
Yeah, I think we'll
midfield,
do that.
and then he'll play 6 midfielders or whatever he does with no striker, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll do the
probably.
false nines.
Yeah.
But
We'll
PSG will have the 3 DMs in and then the front 3. Icardi
Yeah.
will come off the bench because Icardi's fit now as well.
Yeah.
That front three is dangerous, man. Neymar and Di Maria on the ball, feeding Mbappe in behind.
Because Stones up against Haaland, he still looks shaky.
Did he?
So
Yeah.
is he going to start Laporte to match up with?
I think Laporte and Diaz works better for this fixture.
I think Laporte and Diaz are just better. I think Stones just went through a purple patch and people gassed him up because he's English.
Yeah. That's very true.
Like if Stones was French,
And we have no
gassed
good centre backs, so
Yeah.
it makes it look 10 times better.
I knew Stones was a bozo.
I mean, he hasn't done anything wrong yet, so let's not write him off. But he's just in good form. That's it.
It's just Laporte's a better centre back, so it's just like
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. We're gonna do the Euro countdown, but I think we should wait till Ori comes before we do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe we'll do that next week, innit? But stars and wellers of the week. Any nominees? You know,
Joe
just
Willock.
tell me.
Joe Willock, star of the week. Saved Newcastle season, saved them from relegation.
Any others?
My well lad, Chris Kavanagh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was abysmal.
And even
I don't even want to get into that. I'm
even
just,
though it was an
all I'm
incorrect
saying
decision.
is West Ham have appealed it again, so it'll be the biggest shithousery in football if we get 2 red cards rescinded.
Yeah.
You already had one rescinded earlier.
Yeah, Thomas Soucek's one.
Oh, yeah.
That was ridiculous as well.
Yeah. I'm not on this all intention don't matter thing. You gotta look at it and say
he's literally he's got to put his foot down. How is he going to put his foot back on the ground?
Yeah, that was a ridiculous.
And Mount's going in to get the ball. It's not as if Mount's just like, whoever.
Or he's not here to counter us and come up with some random points about intention doesn't matter. But he's not here, so I really wanted to argue with him about that because I feel like that.
Like
he
when
was
can
trying
he
to
put his
defend.
foot?
He was trying to defend it. Like there was I just don't get how you can defend that decision. It's terrible.
Honestly.
Yeah, next time he will defend this point, innit? Next week, innit?
Yeah, we'll talk about intention.
Yeah, we can talk about refereeing and in general and VAR. But we've discussed VAR at one point, I think.
Yeah.
We can have a little topic again about it. We'll see, because there will probably be another fuckery in the next week or so. You know how it is. Yeah, man.
I think the Arsenal one was abysmal as well. That was level.
Bro.
Oh,
with Arsenal and West Ham every week. Like every week, the 50-50 goes against us. Like at this point, I'm consigned to the fact that the referees are not going to be in our favor.
Hey, that's football sometimes, man. You get your luck, you don't get it sometimes. That's how it is. But yeah, man, I think that's it for this week. You man know what to do. The usual is like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your people, man. Share it with your people. Yeah, share it around, man. But yeah, man, I think we're out. Catch you, man, next week.